Have you ever stopped to think that those strange sensations in your body, the shiver with no reason, waking up at 3 in the morning, or those repeating numbers that keep showing up, might not be coincidences? What if all of this were a secret code, an invisible call for your deepest transformation? Most people believe they're just anxious or going through random events, but the truth is counterintuitive. What feels like discomfort may actually be the announcement that you are about to access your highest timeline. And here's the controversy. It's not by praying more or endlessly repeating mantras that you'll get there. What truly opens this door is your quantum frequency, the silent vibration you already carry within but haven't yet fully recognized. That's the paradox. Nobody tells you. The harder you try to force it, the further away it gets. But when you allow yourself to align naturally, the jump happens faster. That's why this moment can become the most decisive turning point of your life. And pay attention. We're not talking about something that takes years or decades, but about activation windows that can happen in less than 24 hours. That's why this video didn't find you by accident. The algorithm doesn't explain it, but the quantum field does. You were brought here because you're ready to listen. And if you stay until the end, you'll understand exactly what's happening inside you, and more importantly, how to use it to your advantage. There are moments in life when a person feels an unexplainable shiver, a kind of electricity running through the body, often at improbable hours like 3 in the morning. This isn't the body malfunctioning, but a sign that consciousness is already picking up subtle changes in the quantum field. These sensations may seem strange, but for those on the verge of a frequency shift, they become intense. It's as if the universe were sending secret hints, warning that an invisible transformation is already underway, even if the outer world hasn't shown anything concrete yet. Increasingly vivid dreams, unexpected encounters, and the curious repetition of numbers, like 1111 or 2222, are also part of the set of signals. They are not trivial coincidences, but small confirmations that reality is already responding to the person's inner state. It's as if the fabric of time opened tiny windows to show that they are aligning with their quantum frequency. The feeling can be unsettling, but in truth it's an invitation to trust the unseen more than the logic that has always controlled life. Imagine someone who suddenly feels a strong urge to change jobs or even cities without any apparent reason. From the outside, it looks like madness. From the inside, it's a deep knowing that cannot be explained in words. This is the quantum signal in action, creating space for new timelines to approach. The impulse may seem irrational, but those who follow this flow often see doors opening with surprising ease. That's how life shows that resonance has already shifted, even if the mind still tries to resist. Another sign is the growing inability to remain in shallow environments or conversations. What used to be tolerable suddenly drains energy quickly, as if every cell were saying, "This space no longer matches your frequency." This is another reflection of the quantum frequency rising, demanding alignment with authentic, meaningful experiences. The body becomes a sensitive radar, filtering what contributes to expansion and rejecting what keeps consciousness stagnant. Some people also report that their perception of time changes. Minutes feel like hours, and hours pass as if they were seconds. This imbalance isn't a problem, it's a symptom that consciousness is no longer following only the linear clock. The done person begins to access states where energy dictates the rhythm, not the calendar. When this happens, they realize they are no longer living just in human time, but are vibrating in tune with subtler layers of existence. All of these signs weave together to form a clear picture. This is not imagination, but preparation. Life is reorganizing every detail to guide someone into their highest timeline. The question isn't whether these signs are real, but whether the person will accept that they're being trained for something greater. Because once the signal is recognized, the next question inevitably arises. What really connects science and spirit in this mysterious process? When we talk about a quantum jump, many people imagine only mysticism, but science already offers bridges to understand this phenomenon. The observer effect, for example, shows that human attention alone is capable of influencing microscopic reality. This means it's not just about faith, but also physics. Everything vibrates in resonance and responds to conscious focus. This discovery connects with spirituality because it reveals that thoughts and emotions are not only internal, but act like commands within the quantum field. Carl Jung would call this synchronicity, while modern physicists speak of wave collapse. Both are describing the same thing in different languages. What happens inside manifests outside. When someone tunes their quantum frequency with clarity, the world seems to reorganize itself in response. They think of someone and that person suddenly calls. They seek an answer, and it appears in a video or unexpected conversation. These small everyday miracles prove that science and spirituality walk side by side. A practical example is Masaru Emoto's experiment with water crystals, which changed form depending on the words and intentions directed at them. If a molecule responds to simple vibration, imagine what an entire body with trillions of cells can do when it connects to a higher frequency. That explains why practices like conscious breathing and meditation alter mental and even physical states. It isn't magic, but coherence between heart and brain, something neuroscience has already confirmed. The heart, in fact, has an electromagnetic field up to 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. When a person focuses on it with positive emotion, they generate a pulse that influences not only their body, but also the environment around them. Here is where science meets spirituality. The heart is both transmitter and receiver of frequencies, attuning consciousness to access new realities. That's why ancient masters always spoke of the heart as a portal, and now science confirms it. By uniting spirituality and science, the quantum leap stops looking like distant fantasy and becomes a real possibility. The secret is to consciously align inner energy, not separating reason and intuition, but integrating them both. Those who understand this begin to see life as a living laboratory, where every thought and emotion acts as an experiment shaping results. Consciousness becomes the testing ground, and the universe the mirror that confirms each vibrational choice. But even when people grasp the bridge between science and spirit, many still get lost in one essential detail. They confuse attraction with alignment. They try to pull things toward themselves as if those things were far away, when in reality the secret lies in adjusting frequency to become part of what already exists in the quantum field. And it's precisely here that we uncover the hidden error that blocks so many spiritual journeys. Many people believe manifestation means attracting something far away, as if reality had to be pulled in with invisible ropes. This is the first trap. Thinking in terms of attraction instead of alignment. In the quantum field, nothing is separate from you. Everything already exists as potential. The difference is that we only access what matches our quantum frequency. When someone tries to force it, trying to bring what they want, they create resistance by reinforcing the idea that they don't already have it. It's like tuning a radio station. If the dial is wrong, no matter how much you turn up the volume, all you'll hear is static. Many spiritual practices fail because they focus on volume, repeated affirmations, exaggerated visualizations, rituals without inner coherence. But what really changes the station is fine-tuning the frequency. That's the difference between repeating "I am abundant" and actually feeling in the body the heart's expansion that confirms abundance. Another common mistake is the obsessive search for miracle techniques. Some people jump from course to course, from guru to guru, believing the next secret will fix everything. This only feeds the sense of lack and pushes them further away from their highest timeline. Manifestation doesn't depend on the number of tools but on the quality of presence. When a person relaxes into the certainty of being, reality begins to reorganize itself around them. There are also those who confuse vibration with superficial emotion. They believe that always smiling, repeating positive phrases, or denying pain means they've evolved. But denying emotions creates fragmentation, not coherence. True alignment happens when even the shadow is acknowledged, and the whole body comes into harmony. This deep integration is what sustains quantum frequency, making someone a stable channel for new possibilities. Picture someone trying to plant a seed in dry soil with no water, while mentally repeating, "It will bloom, it will bloom." Without the necessary nourishment, nothing sprouts. The same goes for consciousness. Without coherence between mind, heart, and action, desire has no fertile ground. When everything aligns, the seed naturally grows without effort. That's the real quantum leap. Not pulling, but allowing what already exists to flourish at the right moment. And it's at this point that the practical key appears. If it's not about attracting but aligning, then how can one sustain this state day by day? This is where the Embodiment Protocol comes in, a set of simple yet powerful steps to stabilize frequency and consciously walk toward the highest timeline. There comes a moment when understanding is no longer enough. The experience must be lived. The so-called quantum leap doesn't happen in the realm of ideas but in daily practice. That's why the Embodiment Protocol exists, a set of steps that stabilize quantum frequency and make the transition into the highest timeline inevitable. The first step is simple yet profound: conscious breathing. Inhaling deeply, focusing on the heart, and letting each beat mark the rhythm of presence creates coherence between body and mind, instantly shifting vibration. The second step is choosing a keyword, a personal symbol that works like a compass. It might be courage, abundance, truth, or any word that makes every cell expand. This word should be repeated not as an empty mantra but as a vibrational reminder. When spoken, it anchors consciousness in the state that already exists within the higher timeline. It's like entering the correct password to unlock a door that has always been there but seemed closed. The third step is to act as the version of yourself that has already leapt, even without external evidence. This doesn't mean overspending or forcing situations, but adopting micro-actions that translate the desired frequency. If the higher timeline brings health, the action could be consciously choosing what to eat that day. If it's prosperity, it might be organizing finances with love instead of fear. Each gesture becomes an energetic signature, a clear message to the quantum field. This protocol doesn't require hours of dedication, but constancy. Just a few minutes of breathing, a daily recall of the keyword, and conscious choices in small situations are enough. That's how the new frequency stabilizes, like strengthening a muscle through regular training. Little by little, life begins to respond differently, opening doors that once seemed closed. The universe recognizes coherence and replies with synchronicities that grow increasingly obvious. Here's a real example. Someone decides to use the word trust as their key. That same day, they receive an unexpected call with a professional opportunity. To some, this might look like coincidence, but those living in alignment know better. It's vibrational response. This is how the protocol turns theory into tangible practice. Day after day, new confirmations arrive, showing reality adjusting to the new frequency. And within this practice comes a revelation. There is a specific moment, an energetic window when everything intensifies. It's as if the universe were saying, "It's now or never." This is the point where preparation meets opportunity, the so-called activation window. There are periods when the universe's energy organizes itself as if opening an invisible portal, a rare gap where the quantum leap becomes unavoidable. This moment is the activation window, a space-time in which one's quantum frequency resonates fully with cosmic forces. That's why suddenly everything feels intense. Relationships that no longer make sense collapse, unexpected opportunities appear, and life demands urgent choices. It isn't bad luck or chaos. It's the universe accelerating the alignment process. The curious thing is that this window doesn't stay open forever. It pulses like a cosmic heartbeat, bringing waves of opportunity that require decision. Those who recognize the call and act within these energetic 24 hours experience changes that once seemed impossible. During this brief interval, synchronicities multiply, dreams reveal messages, and intuitions become clearer than ever. That tingling sensation behind the heart isn't nervousness. It's the vibrational password signaling that the highest timeline is ready to be accessed. This is when the embodiment protocol gains maximum power. Conscious breathing becomes the anchor, the keyword acts as a lighthouse, and micro-actions carry disproportionate impact. A simple gesture, sending a message, accepting an offer, or even reorganizing a space goal can collapse new realities within days. The secret is not to hesitate, because hesitation closes the window, and the chance only returns when the energetic cycle aligns again. For many, this period feels like a crisis. Sleepless nights, intense emotions, the sense that something has to change now. But the crisis is only the wrapping of activation. The body reacts because it is being recalibrated. The heart beats strongly because it is expanding its capacity to conduct energy. Those who understand this code realize that discomfort is not the enemy. It's fuel for the crossing. It's the price of leaving the cocoon to fly. This window also acts as a test of trust. The quantum field delivers small proofs, almost like passwords, to confirm readiness. An obvious synchronicity, a revealing conversation, or even a final obstacle may appear, all to see whether action comes from coherence or from fear. The right decision isn't the most logical, but the one that expands the chest and brings lightness to the body. That is the unmistakable sign of a choice aligned with the highest timeline, and it's precisely in this intensity that the loop opens. When a person realizes the activation window is not only personal, but also collective. The individual leap awakens a greater calling, connecting each one to their role in the awakening of the whole. And this is where the introduction must tie the entire journey together, so that anyone watching feels chosen to cross this portal. Now that you've understood the signs, the science behind the unseen, the hidden error, the embodiment protocol, and the activation window, the question is simple. Will you keep resisting, or will you finally choose to align your quantum frequency? Think about how many times life has tried to show you, through synchronicities and intuitions, that you were being prepared. How many of those opportunities have you ignored out of fear? And what if this is the last call before the leap? The truth is, your highest timeline already exists, but it only reveals itself when you decide to live as if it were real right now. It's provocative, I know. How many of your daily choices are still born from fear instead of trust? How long will you postpone the version of yourself that's already vibrating within you? The discomfort you feel is not punishment, it's fuel. And if you dare to cross, you'll discover that the impossible has always been available. So, I'll ask you, What word represents your commitment to this transformation? Write it in the comments and let it guide you for the next 24 hours. More than that, choose one practical action, no matter how small, to prove to yourself that you're ready for the leap. You don't need to wait for the world to change first. The world is waiting for you to change so it can respond. And if this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel now, hit the notification bell, and continue this journey with me. Because in the next videos, we'll go even deeper into how to sustain this state of coherence, expand your consciousness, and live as a true co-creator in the quantum field. Don't ignore this call. Your greatest transformation begins right here, right now.